Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the new Korean horror movie from 2025, The Noise.
Don't make noise, or you'll die.
Be quiet before I rip your mouth off.
Our main characters are two sisters, Juyeon and Juhui. And here's an important detail. They had a difficult childhood. As a result of some tragedy, Juyeon became deaf. She wears a hearing aid, and Juhui was injured and now limps. Despite all this, they finally realized their dream of buying their own apartment. They move into apartment 604 in an ordinary Korean apartment building. It would seem that their new life will be fine. But almost immediately, Juhi begins to hear strange noises. It's not just the footsteps of neighbors or music. It is some kind of inexplicable noise that echoes throughout the apartment. She tries to find the source, but cannot. The screeching, voices, sounds, it all drives her crazy. And here's the important thing. No one else hears this noise or pretends not to hear it. Juhi becomes increasingly obsessed with this sound. It drives her crazy. As a result, the relationship between the sisters deteriorates so much that Juwon even moves into a worker's dormitory so she doesn't have to watch her sister go mad. And then something terrible happens. Juhi suddenly disappears, simply vanishing from the apartment without a trace. All her belongings are still there. There are no signs that she left the house. The police check the CCTV footage. She is nowhere to be found.
I'm still here.
Juyeon is forced to return to this cursed apartment to find her sister. And that's when her own nightmare begins. Now she too starts hearing that same noise. And then some guy from apartment 504, which is one floor below, starts banging on the door. He yells that Juyeon is making noise and stomping, even though she wasn't doing anything. He threatens to rip her mouth off if she doesn't stop. Juhui's boyfriend, Ki-hoon, helps put up missing person posters and warns Juyeon never to open the door to this psycho. He says that before her disappearance, Juhi complained that the constant noise was driving her crazy. One night, something terrible happens. Juyeon is sitting at home without her hearing aids, which means she can't hear anything. But then the same neighbor starts banging on her door, frantically, with a knife in his hands. And here's the wild thing. Although Ju can't hear anything, her phone with speech recognition suddenly starts showing some kind of distorted, unreadable voice. This confirms that the noise is real. It's not just a hallucination. The man outside the door also hears this sound coming from somewhere above. He goes up one floor and sees a gruesome corpse there. In fear, he runs out in a panic, jumps out the window, and falls to his death from the 7th floor. The next day, Juyeon learns of his death and asks the police to search his apartment. Maybe there is evidence of Juhi there, but then the chairwoman of the housing committee appears and tells her to shut up and not cause any trouble. She declares, everyone who has ever lived in apartment 604
We're insane.
Juyeon sees a strange boy staring intently at the basement and meets a kind neighbor from apartment 804 who lives with her daughter. She tells a terrifying story. It turns out that a man used to live in 604, and the former chairwoman lived one floor above him in 704. She constantly complained about the noise from above. As a result, the man went mad and killed her with a hammer. While she was still alive, the chairwoman constantly knocked on the walls, asking for help, but no one came to her. But here's the scariest part. The other residents mistook the knocking for the same mystical noise and ignored her. Everyone agreed to keep quiet and hide it.
The killer disappeared, and the next resident of apartment 604 eventually hanged herself right in the apartment.
Since then, the house has been filled with mutual resentment and hatred. Now, the current chairwoman wants to demolish the building and build a new one so that everyone will forget the past. Ki-hoon finds out that the killer from 604 also never appeared on the surveillance cameras. He disappeared just like Juhui. Juwon decides to investigate the basement, the only place from which one can leave the building unnoticed. The basement has been boarded up for a long time and smells awful. The residents have been using it as a dump for years. He and Ki-hoon go down there. Juwon sees a notebook with drawings about her life, but when she looks again, the notebook is empty. Ki-hoon finds the remains.
The same killer.
He was hiding here until he died. When the skull falls off and rolls toward Ki-hoon, he hears that same terrifying voice and instantly becomes possessed. He lunges at Juyeon, trying to kill her. She barely manages to escape through the broken window, but he drags her back. Only the chairwoman saves her. It is clear that the basement is cursed. It gradually drives ordinary people mad, but it turned Ki-hoon into a monster instantly. Juyeon regains consciousness in the chairwoman's apartment. The boy she saw earlier is there too. It turns out that he is also deaf and often refuses to wear hearing aids. The boy approaches, pulls out her hearing aid, and shows her that it is bleeding. Using sign language, he warns her that this injury was caused by her hearing something she should never have heard. If she continues to listen to these sounds,
She will die.
Ju-yeon's partial deafness is the only reason she is still alive. But it gets even scarier. When Ju-yeon mentions that the woman in 804 has a daughter, the chairwoman says that the child was hit by a delivery truck and killed several years ago. She is shocked because she herself saw the girl in that apartment. Tae-hoon is dead. Ju tells the police about the metal door in the basement, but the police find nothing. The girl is sure that Ju-hee is there. She heard her voice through the drain pipes. Making her way back through the broken window in the basement, she finds Ju-hee's broken camera, syncs the camera's memory with her phone, and watches her sister's last recording. And there it is, the truth. Ju-hee, trying to find evidence of the noise, climbed into apartment 804 and discovered a room full of strange devices, something like vibrating speakers that create sound waves through surfaces. The woman from 804 was creating all these sounds. That's why only those who lived directly below her were going crazy, while the rest thought they were psychos. In the video, Ju-hee sees the woman talking to the wall as if her daughter were there. Ju-hee tries to run away, but stumbles. The woman hits her on the head with a can. After watching the video, Ju-yeon hears her sister's faint voice. She finds Ju-hee. She is tied up and seriously injured, but alive. But then the killer from 804 appears with a hammer. Ju-yeon manages to close the metal door and hides her sister, planning to distract the killer so that Ju-hee can escape. But the door doesn't hold, and the woman bursts in. A brutal fight ensues. The woman confesses that she was taking revenge on the residents of the building. They constantly complained about the noise her daughter made running around the apartment. Because of this, the woman sent the girl to play outside, where she was beaten to death by a delivery truck. It becomes clear that this woman from 804 killed both the chairwoman and the man accused of murder. She screams that she didn't want to kill them. Ju-yeon says that her sister is alive, to which she replies,
What's wrong with you? Are you insane?
just as the woman is about to kill Ju, the frenzied corpse of the former chairwoman falls from above and crushes the killer. Ju-yeon runs away and locks the woman in the basement, ignoring her pleas for help. As her own victim, the woman dies a slow death, continuously banging on the door. Ju-yeon and Ju-hee are reunited. In the finale, the new resident of apartment 704 comes to introduce herself. Ju-yeon says she lives with her sister. She looks at her, but the neighbor clearly sees that there is no one else in the apartment. It turns out that Ju-hee has been dead for a long time, and what her sister sees is just a hallucination. Ju-yeon gives her neighbor some advice.
Be careful and quiet.
We realize that it wasn't just the killer woman's vibrating speakers.
Something much older, darker, and supernatural lives in the building itself.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always